everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. Today I have my April Book of the Month box, and I also have some great March books to review for you. So here we go, let's check it out and see what's inside. Here is a look at the box, and this is my April Book of the Month choice. This is Husbands by Holly Gramazio. Now, I'll be quite honest with you, none of the April choices really jumped out at me. So I grabbed this one because I believe it was the Jenna Bush Hager Book Club choice. So I thought if she chose it, it might be pretty good. So that's why I chose this one. This is a literary fiction, and the quick take is, not satisfied with your current husband, just direct him back up to the attic. We'll send down a nice replacement ASAP. So apparently this is a light and quirky read, so stay tuned next month. I will let you know if I liked it. The other choices for April are a thriller by Sally Hepworth called Darling Girls, a romance, How to End a Love Story by Yulin Quang, a historical fiction, All We Were Promised by Ashton Lattimore, a memoir, The Wives by Simone Garrindo, Dragon Fruit, a young adult book by Makia Lucier, and a romance, Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. In addition to my Book of the Month, I also ordered 2 add-ons. One of them is from the March Book of the Month choices. This one got so much positive buzz online, I had to check it out. This is Anita DeMonte, Laughs Last. This is a contemporary fiction, and the quick take is, from campus to galleries, this engrossing tale of 2 female artists paints a complex portrait of power and privilege. And my last add-on is from one of my favorite authors, Amor Towles. I loved his books, A Gentleman in Moscow and The Lincoln Highway, so I cannot wait to read Table for Two. This is a book of short stories, and the quick take is a collection of stories as elegant, indulgent, and timeless as a 3-martini lunch. Go ahead, treat yourself. So I cannot wait to read this one. One thing about A Gentleman in Moscow and The Lincoln Highway is they were both super detailed, very long, but I was holding on to every single word. But I think this one will be much easier to digest as short stories. So I think this will be my first book I read this month. I cannot wait to start reading this one. And at the bottom of the box, we have this month's bookmark. Page is just a number. Like I mentioned earlier, my March books were some of the best books I have read in such a long time. I feel like I'm saying that more and more. I don't know if the books are getting better or if I'm getting better at choosing them, but I loved all 3 March choices. I'm gonna start with my least favorite, and we'll rank them down 3 to 1. So coming in at number 3 for the month of March is Shark Heart. Shark Heart is a literary fiction, and this was one of the Book of the Year finalists. So as a Book of the Month member, I was able to choose a Book of the Month finalist for free. So this is the one I chose. I remember when it originally came out, I thought it was such a weird concept of humans turning into animals. But in the book, they just make it sound like another medical condition, perfectly normal. Some people just happen to have the gene where at a certain age in life, they start becoming an animal. And in this case, the main character, Lewis, he begins transforming into a shark. This story is more than a main character turning into a shark. It flashes back to his wife, Ren's childhood, kind of shows why she became the person she became. And for Lewis as well, why he made some of the choices he made. And then just that countdown, knowing that your time with a person you love is going to come to an end sooner than later, and just how they navigate all of that. I was pleasantly surprised with this book, and if you can get past the quirky part of humans morphing into animals, it does underneath have a beautiful, beautiful story. All right, the next book I read this month, I could not put this book down. This is a thriller called Listen for the Lie. This book follows Lucy. She is from Texas, and one night after a wedding, her best friend was found dead. All signs lead to Lucy. They could not prove it, so she is floating under the radar for a few years until a podcaster comes in to investigate and brings everything back to light. And she goes back to Texas, actually works with the podcaster so they can possibly crack this case. Lucy loses all memory from that night, so she doesn't even know if she has done the crime. So this book follows this. You are guessing until the very end. Like I said, I could not put it down. It was such a fun read. Definitely, if you love thrillers, be sure to check this one out. And this is one of the best books I have read in so long. This is called Wellness by Nathan Hill. This book is 597 pages, and I was so intimidated when I first unboxed it. I had no idea it was going to be this long. And I told myself, I was like, you know what? Just start it, read a few chapters, and if you don't love it, you don't have to commit to all 597 pages. But I loved it. I could not put it down. I highly recommend this one. Just break it up into smaller little sections. Pretend like it's 3 different books. I don't know, but I highly recommend this one. This was actually one of Oprah's choices. This follows the story of Jack and Elizabeth. The first chapter is actually a short story written by Nathan Hill of 2 strangers. Their apartments face each other, they watch each other, and basically fall in love. And a few years later, he wrote the rest of the book thinking, what happened to that couple that fell in love through the windows? Where are they now? And let me tell you, they have had quite a their 20-year journey of being together. So many twists and turns. And one thing about Nathan Hill, and I know he has another book that I have not read yet, he does go off on tangents. There's so much knowledge in this book. Let me just show you the bibliography. At the back of the book, there are pages and pages of the references he used, because not only does he tell the story, but he definitely goes into detail. One of the themes is the placebo effect with medicine. One of the things he goes into is the algorithm in Facebook, why some people believe the things they believe because that is what they are shown. A lot of theories on marriage and love. And with these characters, you dive into their past, their childhood, and why that kind of makes them who they are today. I can't believe this one was not one of the Book of the Year nominations. I love this one so much. I highly recommend it. Again, you'll have to carve out a lot of time. It is almost 600 pages, but definitely worth the ride. And that was everything in my April Book of the Month box. If you're interested in trying Book of the Month, I will have a coupon code in the description below, so be sure to check that out. Also, if you have any questions about Book of the Month, you can put those in the comments as well. I've been doing Book of the Month for over 2 years now. I love it so much. I have gone from doom scrolling on Instagram in my free time to actually cracking open all of these books and being transported to all of these fabulous places with all of these fabulous characters. So it was the best thing I have done. So I highly recommend Book of the Month. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. And that's it. As always, thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe.